over a podcast and also ask your questions. And so we'll go straight into today's conversation because we don't want to keep any one of us waiting. And yeah, I know our guest is in the room. It's a virtual room, but allow. Yeah, she's in the room. And Dr. Angela Edhere is a creative professional known for her work in voiceover artistry, event hosting, public speaking, media presentation, and creative writing. Through her social media platform, she has built a brand centered around communication, storytelling, confidence, creativity, and audience engagement. She also graduated from the University of Ibadan, College of Medicine, University of Ibadan, the first and the best in the whole wide world. Sorry, in Nigeria. And she's a medical doctor. She has also built a personal brand centered around being open, expressive, confident, and unapologetically herself. Her content reflects themes on self development, lifestyle experiences, and emotional honesty. She has built her brand focusing on authenticity and encouraging young people, especially women, to embrace their individuality without fear of societal pressure. And through relatable conversations, video, lifestyle content, and personal reflections, she has created a platform that resonates with audiences interested in confidence building and self expression. Angela's work demonstrates how social media can be used beyond entertainment to create conversations around identity, confidence, femininity, and growth. Her creative writing also reflects her ability to communicate emotions, stories, experiences, and ideas in relatable ways. She combines creativity with media communication, making her influence span across entertainment, branding, public engagement, and digital storytelling. So, you're welcome, Dr. Edhere. It took me a while to learn the pronunciation, but I think I'm doing well now.
That's such a funny thing that you're saying because you're still not pronouncing it.
It's a delight to have you here. Please let's welcome her the in Kindle kind of way.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Zara, for having me here. It is a wonderful thing to be in the room with. I don't know, is there a name for the Inkendo community? What are people called?
Ma'am?
What are your names? The Inkendo community. Are you like candles? Are you spotlights? What are you? I
We are
think
known.
I think at the end of this meeting,
Sorry,
maybe that
we
should
don't
be
we don't
the next
Inkindle is
thing.
Inkindle, don't worry.
But yes, thank you so much for inviting me here. It's such a pleasure and a privilege to be part of this discussion that we're having. I can't believe that the citation that was being read was all about me. But if I had to summarize everything that you were trying to say, I would say that I just really like talking. And I also really like to encourage people to use their voice to speak up, which I know is why you have invited me here because you want me to tell people about um, how my journey has been and also encouraging other people to use their voices in the spaces that they find themselves. It's a beautiful, beautiful day. So good evening once again, everyone. Again, delight to be here. And this conversation has rightly been themed unedited, unedited, building your voice. This is a very beautiful thing when you hear a child speaking for the first time, right? You see how parents are so excited when a child says their first word. And it doesn't even matter what the word is. Most parents are like, ah, say mama, say dada, whatever it is. They're so excited that a child can speak. And parents get, they become afraid. They're more fearful when they see that their child has passed the stage of development for speaking and they're not speaking. So it's a joyful thing to see that a child has found their voice, regardless of how they're using it, right? And we know that it is something that takes joy away when a child is not speaking as they ought to. Let's translate that now to you as an adult in the world. finding your own voice. This meeting, this discussion is going to focus mostly on authenticity. My facilitator, my oga here, has told me that
So,
this
Dr.
is not
Angela,
this is
so Dr.
not
Angela, I know that I know you personally, right? So I know that
yeah.
what you're about to share is very real, and that's exactly what I think I need. I want to say that's what we need. Well, I think I need this tonight. Yeah, because I don't want to say I'm upcoming. I'm not upcoming because I do not agree to all the narratives about me being a content creator. Never. But then, so let's start here. When someone meets Dr. Angela Edhere for the first time, I almost mispronounced your name again. But when someone meets Dr. Angela Edhere for the first time, what do they usually see? And is that exactly you? Is that actually you?
That is a very good question. That's a very, very good question. I think that answer would depend on what room that I enter. For instance, now the first impression that majority of these people on this call have of me is that I'm some kind of master communicator who has answers for them. When I walk into a room or an event where I'm supposed to host, for instance, they look at me like I'm supposed to carry the events on my shoulders. So I'm not just the MC, I'm somehow now also the events planner and moderator. I'm somehow also the speaker. And it's a lot of expectations at once. In general, when people meet me in life, I don't think that I'm very remarkable until I open my mouth and then people are like, wow, I didn't know that you could speak this way. I didn't know that this is what you do. Let me try and summarize. When people meet me, at first, I think one thing I've heard from a lot of people who are strangers before they eventually knew me is I look mean, intimidating in real life until I open my mouth and they're like, oh, you're friendly. Oh, you're friendly. And then it becomes, oh, you're not just friendly, you actually know what you're talking about. Oh, wow, you actually do this really, really well. So how does one sum all of that up? I am a at first glance intimidating person who is just willing to know people and let people know her and all their knowledge and information. Is that good enough? Is that
There
is
is
that
no
fine?
right. There is no right or wrong answer. That's why we are in an unedited rather conversation. So I don't know. But yeah,
Nice.
that's I think that's the most genuine introduction I've heard so far. And forgive me, I took out something from I took out something from the bio. I forgot to add that you are the CEO of Angel
Oh
Vox
my
Media.
god.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like it's not easy, it's not easy to combine medicine and media. These are core these are core professions. Yeah, if you're in media, you're a professional as well because it's not just a medical doctor who's also a professional. So you're a medical doctor, you run a media company, you
I
produce
do.
content by telemedicine brand,
I do.
you do voiceovers, you
I
host,
do.
you
I
write.
do.
To Angela, and I'm very quite aware that you did a lot of all these things, even as a medical student. That was not like a popular thing for anybody to do because I'm a medical student and I get a fair share of Zara, you're doing a lot of things. When do you get to read? How are you coping? Hope you're fine. I get all of that as a medical student. So how did all of this happen, Dr. Angela? Can you walk us through your journey up to this point?
All right. Thank you very much for asking me. I wasn't always a public speaker because that's how I would sum up everything that I do in media. I wasn't always a public speaker. I was actually quite shy, especially growing up. I didn't like speaking out. I didn't like standing in front of crowds. I think I had a very tiny voice, and that was because I had a very small assumption of myself as well. I didn't think that there was anything that I had worth saying, so I just didn't say anything. Just before I entered university, I became a Christian, I became a believer, and that was when I found my voice, right? I like to put it as God gave me a voice, actually. So the Lord gave me a voice and I started to use it. And it was in small spaces. I actually started as a spoken word artist because even though I never used my voice. I used to write a lot, and I'm a very emotional person. I could only process emotions on paper. So I would write a lot of poetry. And someone heard me speak in church one day and they were like, "Have you ever tried spoken word poetry?" And I was like, well, what is that? And I told the person that I was a poet, but I had never seen this spoken word poetry thing. I had never tried it. And that was where my journey began. So I did that for a little bit and then I got into uni. And I didn't know how, but I knew that the Lord was going to use my voice. I wasn't exactly sure in what spaces that He would use my voice, but I was open to any and everything. I continued spoken word for a little bit while doing my creative writing on the side. I had started a blog at that time where I would just share my own experiences. I would share faith-filled articles. That was what I was doing for a little bit. And then I had this inspiration in medical school, you can imagine. I had just finished my first MB. I was told throughout my clinical school that first MB is the only hurdle that you really need to cross. Once you're over that, then you can do anything you want. So I remember I was like, let me start and do anything I want. So I had just finished my first MB and I decided to join every club that had ever, you know, ever taken over my mind. But the one that
Real.
was at the top of my list was literary and debates. And so I went to literary and debates to learn how to be a good orator. And that was really where my journey with public speaking started. And it sounds so funny because I would have been maybe 21 or 22 at the time, and it sounds like it was a very late time to get started in an oratory journey. Maybe this is something I should have been doing since I was little, but it was just something that I was really inspired to do. And I felt that I have this voice and I think I have a lot of things to say. I just don't know how to say them properly. And I got to literary and they helped me refine my voice, they helped me refine my speeches. It was a beautiful, beautiful process. Along the way, because I started that, I had also learned that my personality, just being very bubbly, wanting to draw people, carry them along, was very suited to event hosting as well. So it was something I stumbled into. I went for a friend's birthday party and there was no moderation going on. It was just supposed to be friends hanging out. But I just took up the stage and I started, calling up people that say some words, do this, do that. I was making jokes. I was just making sure that everybody was carried along during the event. And that was where my journey in event hosting started. My first three gigs were not paid. I just wanted to do them for fun. I hosted my classes talent show. We did a talent show, very random, and I was just like, yeah, I think I can do it. And then that was the first time I had stood in front of 200 people and done that kind of thing. I progressed from that, started doing voiceovers because somebody told me your voice sounds really good and I want to use you for a UNSA. So UNSA is University of Biomedical Students Association. I want to use you for a UNSA ad. So it was just to publicize our dinner. Yes, first and the best, for real. It was to publicize our dinner. I didn't get paid for that, but I did that voiceover and it kind of just like everything just went up from there. My first ever voiceover gig that I was paid for. It sounds embarrassing now because I could never collect that from anybody, but they gave me shawarma. That was my payment for my first voiceover gig, was shawarma. At a time when
Wow.
shawarma was not even up to 2000, just know. And then my first real payment was 5,000 naira, but it felt like everything. It felt like I was being validated for the talent that I knew that God had given me. So I continued to do that. And while I was doing all of this, I mean, still being a medical student, I had to really focus on my work, right? My schoolwork, making sure that I don't fail out of school, making sure that I did well, pleased myself and my parents who were paying my school fees. When I realized that I was doing so much, I had to cut down. So I streamlined everything that I was doing. I was like, let me just cut off the ones that I don't feel. At that time, my thought was, if it's not making me money, it got to go. So the thing that went was spoken word, right? And then I also sidelined my blogging and decided to focus on voiceovers and event hosting at the time. Yes, so that was what I did. And then I joined a media company that's, and this is so wild. I'm just thinking about how a medical student thinks to join a media company as a full staff while in medical school. But I did that, and it was one of the most stretching exercises that I've been through. It sounds like it was a small thing, but it wasn't. I worked there. I learned so much about human resources and management. I learned more about the trade, videography, video editing, voiceover work, sound engineering, and my skills just continued to increase. So at the end of medical school, I had to start thinking about how I wanted to be a doctor. How exactly did I want to present myself as a doctor in the world? I know that I want to practice clinical medicine, but is this going to be the end of it when I have built this career that has helped me through medical school, that has put a sizable, income in my pocket? How do I want to continue this? And I had a very, very inspiring conversation with my partner where he told me I didn't have to drop everything that I was doing just to focus on the one thing. How do I like put everything into one bucket? And that was how Angel Vox was born. So Angel Vox was not is not so that I can cut myself
Wait,
into
how
pieces.
do they say that thing that I go love?
Hey, you go love her, you go love the right person, the person who can see your potential, who sees your potential and invest in it. I don't think I would have been able to conceive of the vision myself. I would have thought it was too big for me. But he helps me to realize that my being a doctor does not stop me from being a public speaker, being an event host, being a voiceover artist. I could do all of those things and be a doctor. And the best way to do it was to make it a brand. So Dr. Angela is one person. Angel Vox is an entity on its own that presents Dr. Angela to the world. It was it
Thank
was
you
a
very
mind
much,
opening.
Doctor.
Yeah.
I think I prefer calling you Doctor Edhere so that I keep the pronunciation in my head. Yeah, but
It
Angela.
was good to you.
So I actually like the fact that your story did not sound all planned out. I'm very sure if I was at the other end and you were here, you would hear a lot of, I sat down and I looked at my life and I said, this is the path.
I planned this. I
From
planned for
spoken
one,
word.
2, 3, 4, 5. I didn't plan anything. I was just going with the flow and trusting the Lord, and things became clearer as I walked.
Yeah, spoken words. I will not say I started with, I've not even explored spoken words. I've not explored spoken word poetry enough. And somehow I'm not currently doing anything as to spoken word pick up. I'm motivated, inspired to find my voice. And yeah, somehow you started from spoken word poetry. And, I actually thought that you already had it all planned out in your head, how you're going to be in school, be a voiceover artist, and do your content creation. And, just have that solid media career. I don't know if you said to be me, I would have sat down, done a strategy, and behold, Zara, the media professional, and all of that. But it's so amazing to see that it's not in the so right, just taking up little them, being able to see opportunities and utilizing them according to the talent and the gift that you
Yeah.
have. you from being just the ordinary person or being the ordinary student to being much more. That's actually inspiring. And Angel Vox exists because you saw something. I think if I had not about Angel Vox, I would have been I would have been much more lenient with the other people that don't know about Angel Vox. But you catch up once once Dr. Edhere starts talking. And yeah, so Angel Vox exists because you saw something, you saw a gap, you saw a need and something that was not being done well.
Mm.
Saw what other people were missing. So basically, Angel Vox helps companies, organizations communicate their ideas the way they actually want to see them.
Yeah.
Did you always know how to say the things the way you actually meant them?
Oh, very good question. Very, very good question. I would say that I'm a cautious person. So, like I said, when I was younger, I didn't think that I had anything worth saying, so I wouldn't say anything at all. And that was something that my parents had drummed in my head that if you don't have anything, you know, good or kind to say, just don't say anything at all. So I'm someone who tends to think a lot before I speak. I'm not a rash person in my speech, and that has translated even into my professional life. So I didn't always know the right things to say or the right ways to frame words, but as someone who reads a lot, I read a lot, I watch people a lot, I listen to people a lot. What I have learned is that there are ways that people can receive things. There are ways to say things that people receive them better. So I just decided that I would learn how to say things in ways that people will receive them better. It was something that again, I'm not sure it was very, very conscious. It wasn't something that I had decided on, but it was an observation that I had made. And I just thought to myself, wouldn't it be nice that if I with 1,000 people, everybody can just resonate with it, even if they don't have it, or an audience with 1,000 people, everybody can just resonate with it, even if they don't agree with it completely, they receive it. So I decided to start working on it, right? So this is such it was such an unconscious thing, but I'm recalling it and seeing how I actually put in effort in my conversations. In my personal conversations was what started just trying to frame words in ways that I knew people would be able to receive them. So I'm also a children's teacher, right? And this was
Yeah.
something that I really, really got while training to be a children's teacher. I cannot explain something to a 20-year-old the way I'm not going to explain something to a 10-year-old the way I would explain it to a 20-year-old. So I had to learn how to speak to 10-year-olds. I had to learn how to use analogies that they would understand. I had to watch their shows in order to know what is going through their head. And so in every room I'm about to be in, I will study my demographic, the audience. What are they listening to? What do they watch? What do they know? How can I frame what I want to say, even though it's still my voice that's saying it? How am I going to be able to say it in a way that is going to align with what these people have received in the culture? So, when did that start? Probably when I started taking my speaking seriously. So I would say 200, 300 level was when I really started practicing that around the time when I became a children's teacher. And I decided that that was something that would be the core of Angel Vox Media. So Angel Vox Media is the voice of the angel, messenger from God, right? So an angel is a sent one. The angel doesn't change the message that was sent, but the angel would say the message in the way that the person that is supposed to receive the message can hear and receive it. So Angel Gabriel is not going to speak the same way to Mary as he's going to speak to Joseph, for instance, right? It's the same message, but he's going to say it in a way that he knows both of them would be able to receive it. So that's what Angel Vox Media is about. Let me study your audience, let me study your brand, and let me communicate what your brand is trying to say to your audience with the right words, with the right tools, the right action.
So more like we're open for business, please.
Yes, if you have to
Angel
define
works help your
define
company,
this
your
voice. Yes,
organization
Angel voice
say
can help you.
what you wanted to say the way you want to say it. And
Yes.
basically, basically, there's something I was discussing with someone this so interested in public speaking and how he wanted to join the L&D.
Mm.
I knew that like it was not a bad decision per se, but I think many people do not understand what public speaking is about.
Mm.
I think public speaking is being able to communicate to your audience exactly what is in your mind and what you said exactly the way you wanted them to understand it.
Mm-hmm.
Platform or about the theatrics because War is the biggest, debate competition, public speaking competition in yeah, we are on stages and we are battling like battle of words. So he's like, oh, I want to be on Joel so I can learn public speaking. I want to be in the L&D so I can debate and I can learn public speaking. And somehow, public speaking is not just about the competition or the theatrics. And if you're looking for communication beyond theatrics, yeah, we already have the communication experts in the room. She just meet after the call. She'll just, she will teach you how to communicate. Yeah, and you can also follow her on our social media platform, see the work she does with Edhere. I hope I've not overshared. I'm trying to, just just be around a bank and I think I'm oversharing. So Dr. Angela, you are someone who lives in expression. You have a voice, you are in media, you are in storytelling. Shared about your journey. You did not just become this person all of a sudden. Just like sometimes I think to myself, when am I going to be able to talk? When am I going to be able to? There were times that I was like, I want to do this, but I can't do this at the moment. Was there a time that you did not know how to take up space? Was there a time that you noticed that you were editing yourself? Was there a time that you noticed that you were editing your words? Like when you walk into a room, you'd be like, okay, what should I say? What should I not say? Can you take us to that moment? What was happening in your life at that point?
Thank you for that question, Zara. I am drawn back to, I don't want to go as far back as secondary school. So let's just start at the beginning of my discovering my voice. So in university, I remember very clearly, there was a time in 200 level. It was one of these projects that we were working on. What they call them again? Oh my gosh. It's been so long since I've been a student. I can't remember. I'm joking. We're working on a term paper, and it was the kind that we were supposed to present. I remember not knowing so much about the subject, but I knew about communication. At least I knew enough to be able to tell them that, well, this is probably how we should present this thing to the rest of the class. And they were talking, and everybody seemed so confident in what they were saying. And I've always been the kind of person, or I had always been the kind of person that didn't like to, sound like I'm the one that knows too much. I don't like being an ITK. I don't like saying things over people. I don't like disagreeing with people. So if I see somebody that is very confident about what they are saying, I usually just like shrink back and allow them to take up the stage. And I remember that term paper, we actually lost points on presentation because of the like the thing I would have suggested would have allowed us to get all the points that we needed to get. And I remember saying at the end, good. Oh my gosh. And I want to go and type on the group that And I wanted to say that we should do this thing. And everybody was like, why didn't you say it? Why didn't you say it? I felt so horrible that my shyness, because I used to call it shyness at that time, was what prevented us from getting the best possible grade that we could have gotten. And that was how I used to carry myself through school and even through life. I would know the right thing to do. I would know the right things to say, but I wouldn't say them because I just felt like my information was not credible enough. Who was I to be able to talk to people about things? I just felt like I wasn't knowledgeable enough. So I would constantly try to edit my voice to echo what somebody else was saying. So if I felt like the person who was speaking was confident enough and it looked like they were more knowledgeable than me, I would just agree with them, even though I had a differing opinion or I knew something better to do.
I didn't know that was good to be that fast. But yes, you actually said what you actually said what I wanted to hear, by the way. I don't know for others. I'm speaking for myself. Yeah.
Mm.
So there was a time when you'd basically scan the room and then
Mm-hmm.
feel like this is what I should say. And I think every one of us have that moment when you're not quite sure, but you just feel like, let me not just fold my hand and all of that.
Yes,
And
so let me not embarrass my ancestors.
but the funny thing is that the person, like the facilitator or somebody will just say what you wanted to say. And then you
Mm.
just feel like, oh
Let
God,
me
why did
just
I not
say,
just why did I not just talk? And the funny thing is that they'll say, very good. Come on, that was so brilliant. And you're like, not say the right thing, but many of us have had that moment when we're just like, let me not just talk or something like that. But I also think that sometimes it's actually better to be silent and
mm,
hear what people have to say. Yeah. Especially for people like me, I can talk a lot. So most times I have to remind myself, just calm down. Yeah, just calm down. I know you know. I know. Just calm down and hear what you need to hear. But there are times when I also want to talk, but I just feel like my tongue is tied and I cannot say anything. And most times it is when I'm in a room that I feel like, oh, I'm not prepared to be there, or I feel like I don't really know so much about this. So let me just stay in my corner. And sometimes in those kind of settings, I get to like now say, I if I had just said something, at least if I had just said something, that would have actually helped. But then, Dr. Angela, you built your first IG platform unapologetically Angie.
ha 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 ha.
That name is a whole statement. Exactly were you apologizing for before you decided to build that platform?
Wow. I like how Zara does likes to ambush me. She won't tell me, oh, I was stalking you and this is what I saw and I'm about to expose you online. Like, but it's fine. It's fine. That Thank you so much for drawing me back to that. So that was my personal Instagram page in I think I've had that Instagram for maybe 5 or 6 years. If anybody should go and look for unapologetically Angie, what you see is what you get to. That is the reason why it's called unapologetically. So in 2024 in January, when we had been preparing for TEDx UCH Ibadan at that time. We were going to take people on an excursion in Lagos, and I had met this girl who she was just a breath of fresh air. She was the videographer for the day, and her personality was so liberating for me. And she showed me her Instagram, how she just posts whatever she likes when she likes, and she just deletes it when she feels like she doesn't want it up again. And she was like, yeah, it's her Instagram, it's her page. She can do whatever she wants with it. She's the one who owns it and manages it. And somehow that unlocks something in my brain because I've always been the kind of person who I think too much before I post on social media. It stops me from posting on social media because I just have to think, oh, if I post this picture, what are people going to see? What are people going to say? What's the perfect caption that will go with this picture? Sometimes just post your go. Just post your picture anyhow it is and go. So unapologetically Angie, I renamed I don't even remember what the former name was, but I renamed it because I wanted it to show that I was going to post whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted, regardless of how the viewer was going to see it. Because you're coming to my page, you know something, you can scroll away. You can. So I don't have to edit myself to suit your taste because there is so much content for you to consume. You don't have to consume my own. It gave me so much freedom to just post as I wanted to. I was able to post my friends and family, random pictures that I took, random quotes that I wanted to. And that was how unapologetically Angie came about. Unfortunately, the social media phobia, or would I call it a phobia? I just don't really like being on social media. It caught up to me again, but I'm starting to get back in the groove of just posting for posting's sake so that people who care can care. Oh, there is this very fantastic Dr. Seuss quote, and it says, "Be who you are and say what you feel, because those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind." Now, it's very nuanced. You can take it how you want to, but the way that I take that quote is honestly, there are people in your life who will support you regardless of how cringe you're being, as long as your cringe is good, it is righteous, it is fine. They will support you, they will love you, they will stop loving you because you shut up cringe. And the people who are cringing and they're like, why are you showing up like this? Why are you presenting yourself this way? Enough times, those people actually really don't matter in the grand scheme of things. They are not going
they're
to
not
be the
your
person who makes
audience,
it. They're not. Honestly, they're not your audience. So you don't have
and they
to
can always scroll away.
let them scroll. Post your post and go. Don't edit yourself for an audience who doesn't even
Okay.
care about you.
What's the
Oh, John,
man?
thank you. I just realized that somebody is writing some quotes from here. John, thank you very much.
So, you talked about a quote that I really think I missed out on. I don't know if
Okay.
it's network issues or, but like I missed out on the quotes. But I know that you said something. Can you repeat it?
It's be who you are and say what you feel because those who mind don't matter and
Oh,
those who
okay.
matter don't mind. It's by Dr. Seuss.
Okay. So, do you think there's a difference between being private and shrinking yourself? Because I've heard that thing before that, no, I'm not a social media person. I don't talk too much online. I don't talk too much publicly. I just want to be me inside my corner and all of that. And which one do you think people do more without realizing? Like, is there really a difference between being private and shrinking yourself? And what do you think people do without realizing? Have you ever?
Very good question. There is definitely a difference between being private and shrinking yourself, right? One example that I like, one person that I will say is private. I'm not a fan, but Beyonce. Beyonce is private, and I don't think that she has ever once shrunk herself. When Beyonce enters into a room, you know Beyonce is there. She shows up, and everybody's like, "Yeah, that's Beyonce." But Beyonce had, I think, please, if you like, go online and just check her social media. She's not constantly talking about her life, constantly talking about her children. You don't know what's going on. And there's so many celebrities like that as well that people are always guessing about what is going on in their lives because they don't actually see on social media. So that's being private. You can be private without shrinking yourself. Ibuku and Woshika is one very local example that I'll use of that. Ibuku and Woshika, she's a force to be reckoned with. She's an amazing woman. This is a woman that I don't think has ever shrunk herself in any room. I do believe that she's a very humble woman. The times that I have been privileged to sit under her tutelage, meet her in person, she's very humble, but she doesn't shrink herself. She's also very private. You don't know what her children look like. You don't know. You will hardly ever see her husband and all of those things. But when she has a message to share, you will hear it, and you will hear it in her voice, and it will be unmistakable. So she shows up when she needs to show up. She says the things that she needs to say, but she still remains private. So there is a clear distinction. There is something that I'm trying to communicate to the world, and that is not my personal life. I don't need people to know exactly what is going on with me or with my family, with my career, with whatever. If it is not part of my brand, if it is not part of the thing that I'm trying to communicate to an audience, then I can keep that to myself. That's not shrinking, that's just being private. But when you are building, you're building a voice, or you're building content that you're trying to communicate to someone, and you have information in that content. So something, let's say that you talk a lot about lifestyle, or you talk a lot about your career. So let's use Miss Professor Kwawashika again as an example. So she is a thought leader. She's a thought leader. She talks a lot about leadership, talks about governance, talks about finance. Something happens in her life that is, I wouldn't say remarkable, but there's a lesson that she has that she knows can impact the world financially. Like, she can give more information to people who are seeking that in finance. And she decides that maybe I don't know enough about this, so I'm just going to keep it to myself. That is shrinking, right? That's not being private, because it is something that she has already established that she wants to talk to people about. For me, that is mental health, it's communication, it's being a doctor in general, it's health education. And there are things going on in the world, and I decided that I don't think I know enough about this to be able to speak on it. If you don't know enough, you research and then you go and you communicate to your audience. Let me tell you something. Um, I am not a PMOS patient. I don't deal with PMOS. There's thousands, millions of women who deal with it, right? It's a very important medical condition. And recently we saw that PCOS changed PMOS. I hardly know more about it than they taught me in ONG 2, 3 years ago. But when I saw that, I went to go and read about it. I went to read the article because I have an audience who cares about health information. And I know that I have positioned myself as somebody who gives health information. So if this is what's trending right now, my audience, even though they don't expect it, there is a silent expectation that, oh, Dr. Angela is going to come and she's going to say something about this in a way that resonates with me, that I understand. She's going to gently fight for me. She's going to make it land for me, right? So if I had decided that, I don't deal with PMOS, oh, I'm not interested in ONG, so why should I talk about this? And I didn't do it, that would be shrinking, right? That is not me keeping my private life private. That is me just withholding information that could help the general public, and specifically my audience, from them. So that's that. And I think people who are introverted, largely introverted, who really do want to remain private, but also have a message to share with the world, also have a brand that they're trying to build, they mix these things up a lot. So they end up shrinking where they should just be being private. So you're supposed to keep your private life private, but they end up just feeling like, yeah, I'd rather be inside. Oh, I don't really think that I know too much about this, so let me just not go. So it's an issue that happens.
That actually makes sense. And to think you've answered my next question about the fact that not really directly, but something about people watering themselves down just to survive certain spaces. You didn't really answer it. You clean when you said something about self-esteem and you said something
Mhm.
about personality. And I think that answers a question that I've been carrying in my heart. Yeah, concerning showing up, being private, and all of that. Yeah, I think I would. I will now free the person I was holding in my mind that I'm suspecting something. But yeah, so you are seen as confident, and I want to ask honestly, does confidence always feel real for you on the inside, or is it something you just put on and you just think, oh, don't worry, it's to catch up with me as we start talking or as we start speaking? What does it feel like when you still show up?
Wow, thank you very much for this. Very, very real. Very, very real. It's a thing that I hear almost every time that I'm up on stage or have something that I'm speaking about. Somebody will come up to me and say, "Wow, you're so confident. How can I be confident like you?" And I look at them like, "Me?" Real life. It was 8:55 this evening, and I message my partner and I say, I'm so nervous. This is a conversation that I have known about for a month, that I have been planning for, and I was still extremely nervous. And I don't know where the nervousness came from. I had communicated with you prior. I had gone over things that we were going to talk about, and yet I knew that I was going to be in front of the Kindle crowd, this amazing crowd of people, thought leaders, and I started feeling nervous. And you know what? While he was talking to me and asking if I'll be all right, I was like, I'm just going to power through it. Like my head is spinning, but I'm going to power through this. And that is really how majority of my showing up happens. I just get there and I power through it. So the first 2 minutes, 5 minutes may be rough, but in the doing of it, you just find that, oh, there was really nothing to be this nervous about. And it just melts away. People say fake it till you make it. I don't really fake it. I go there nervous,
Hmm.
but I'm not showing the nervousness. I just stand on the stage, and it's something that you've rehearsed over time already. You rehearse talking to a crowd, you rehearse talking to people, you rehearse talking to one person, and you get more confident as you realizing that no, I actually study with I talk, but I know the things that I'm saying. It's not like I'm stupid now. This thing is making sense. And with every word that comes out from your mouth, you get more and more confidence. That's really how I show up. And it feels good. It feels good, especially at the end. Oh my goodness, I cannot stress this enough that I don't know any public speaker that while they are speaking, while they are hosting, while they are doing anything, they are feeling so good in the moment. I don't know. That has to be a very special kind of person. But at the end, when you get through everything and they clap, oh, mm, when they finally clap after you're done on stage, you feel like you're on top of the world. Like, thank God I pushed through that. Thank God I went through it. Thank God I didn't chicken out. Yes, so it's the greatest feeling being able to deliver something you've prepared in your head, knowing that you resonated with an audience that you prepared for. Is the greatest feeling, and I think it is worth pushing through every discomfort for.
Yeah, I would also like to add that many times confidence would come when you are comfortable with something. If you're not prepared for something, you're going to be very nervous. So sometimes what I do is that okay, I just like go through some of the even if you feel so confident in a particular situation, that does not mean that the next time you're going to do that same thing, you're not going to feel nervous. In fact, like there's no guarantee that the fact that you feel confident today means you feel confident tomorrow in that same thing. You would also always have that voice come somewhere that like, are you sure you can do this? Should you be doing this? Why are you doing this? Sometimes it can even be the cringe. and you just be like, ah, I feel weird. But that's another manifestation of the fear that comes with trying to just put yourself out there. Thank you very much. Like, this has been really exciting so far and insightful as well. So being visible is one thing, and visibility is something that is so celebrated. In fact, if you want to be at the top of anything you do, you have to be visible. People have to know you. But being seen is another thing. What do you think is the difference for you?
Between being visible and being seen. Okay,
Yeah.
all right. So let's use social media as an example. There are let's do a quick Google search. How many how many accounts are there on Instagram? So apparently, according to this, Instagram has approximately 3 billion monthly active users. That is 3 billion people who have the potential of being seen. So they are visible, but personally, I probably see maybe 3,000 people on Instagram monthly. My feed is just that curated, right? So being visible, you have a platform, right? So whether you use it or not, you're visible. You're there, you show up there, you have a name, you have a profile picture or not. You just have something that says, okay, this person is here. You're seen when there's somebody who has subscribed to you. So it's like peripheral. Oh, medicine is coming again. God help me. You have your peripheral vision and you have your direct vision. What you are paying attention to is what will always be in your direct vision. It doesn't take away the fact that there are things in your periphery. It doesn't. So right now, I am looking at my phone camera because I am talking to the Inkindle community. In my periphery, I can see that there is a corridor to my left and there is a television to my right. They are visible, but I'm not seeing them. I am seeing you people because I have put my attention on you. So being seen is somebody has paid attention as a currency to subscribe to whatever it is that they're showing you. That's why in relationships, you hear people, if you subscribe to relationship talk a lot or you're watching lots of rom-coms, they're like, I don't think you see me. Like, do you really see me? And that seeing is basically just attention. Somebody who sees you, you would say, oh, this person sees me because I never really mentioned it, but they know that I don't like fish because I always separate fish when, somebody serves me food. I haven't talked about it, but they know that my preference is for flights over road trips, right? They're like, oh, you see me because you subscribe to me with attention, right? That is being seen. You can be visible but not be seen until somebody has placed their attention on you, giving themselves to hearing what you have to say. I think that's the real distinction between visibility and being seen. So being seen is direct attention paid to someone who is giving value. Hello? Hello? I don't know if I can be heard still.
You at some point hear you.
Okay. So Zara, I didn't hear the last thing that you said. Okay, keep on speaking. Thank you, Yinka. Thank you, Judah.
And the network was bad, but I can't hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you. I think a lot of people still can.
Thank you, Yinka. All right. Zara,
Yeah, you can go on.
That's what I think you did. Maybe your network cut off, but I had finished saying what I wanted to say
Oh, okay, okay.
about things and
Now this
you
I
were able to hear me.
go back. I have to go back to this conversation because it seems like the network in I don't continue. I don't end the statement. As a
The network in
Nigerian
the first and the
woman,
third is bad.
let's leave this school out of it. As a Nigerian woman, have there been rooms where your voice was not really welcome, or your voice was just accepted, but only up to a certain point? And what did you do with that? Did you ever your voice was too much? And how did that feel like to you? How did you manage that kind of situation?
Thank you for that question. I think one of the most valuable tenets of communication is respect, right? So when it comes to bringing a message to an audience in the way the audience can receive, you must study and learn your audience and know what it is that will be palatable for them. So you do not make food with visible onions for somebody that you claim to love and you know that this person just cannot stand onions in their food, right? I hope that makes sense. So it is not editing yourself out of the conversation when you can recognize that there are some things that you will say in a particular way that will be stomached and some things that will not be, especially when you need that information to reach the audience that you want it to reach. Let me answer the question properly now. Yes. And this is not even so far. Like the conversation does not extend so far into courtrooms or into banking halls or even on the stage. Let's even start from home. If you have grown up in a traditional African home, there are certain spaces where you can speak up as a woman, and there are certain spaces where it doesn't matter what you're saying, it doesn't matter how much sense that you're making. Just because you're a woman, they are going to shut you up. Right. How did I learn to speak in those spaces? I'm a firstborn. And early on, I realized that there are things that I necessarily have to say. I can't just watch things go on anyhow because somebody is going to somebody is going to tell me to keep quiet, right? There's a quote that says that evil goes on because people who know to do good are not speaking. So if you see evil that is happening and you that knows good, you are the only one who like knows the good and can speak up about it. I sincerely believe that you should speak up about it. So that's how I started speaking up, even in my traditional African home as a woman. What I learned to do rather than just keep quiet was to rephrase the information in a way that would be palatable to everybody who's hearing it. So I'm not taking away from the truth of what I'm trying to express, but I am making sure that it will be heard by the people that need to hear it in a way that they will be able to stomach it. And the moment they say, I don't want to hear this from you, I keep quiet because communication is not communication unless it is received, right? That's one of the first things that you learn about communication. There's a sender, there's a message, there is um there is a way it is called. What? Why is English failing me tonight? There is a and the message is not platform. Platform is not the word I want to use. But there's a way it is conveyed, and then there is the receiver, right? If the receiver says, I'm not receiving again, and the sender is still talking, you're not communicating. So you must learn that respect is very, very valuable in communication. The moment the person who you need to hear that information doesn't want to hear your voice anymore, you keep quiet. Because honestly, it's really not by force for everybody to hear you or to listen to you, no matter how pertinent you think that information is. You must respect the person that you're speaking to or the people that you are speaking to. So I have not shrunk in any room because I am a woman. If I know that my voice is respected in this room, I will speak up in a way that is edifying for everybody that's going to hear my voice. And the
The
moment they
fact
decide that
that I like the fact that you said that you have not shrunk.
I have not,
This means that you see, like, there are times when you are maybe being shut up, but you see, you're going to hear me, and you're going to hear me the right way. Whether you like it or not, you're going to hear what I have to say. But I don't have to make it so obvious that I'm also like trying to push it out to you that you have to listen to me as well. So I like our society has made it that difficult, right? But I think things are kind of a bit getting better. But as a woman, you might actually face a lot of what you really know. This conversation is not for you. You're not supposed to be there. And for women that occupy spaces that are male dominated, they might face that situation a lot. So I know you take God seriously. Many times in this conversation, you've said a lot of, and the Lord told me, and I heard in my spirit. Those are pointers that you listen to God, you allow God direct you, guide your steps, your decision. And I think that's what I'm talking about, because a lot of people in this age and time, they separate their faith from their work. They separate their faith from their identity, such that they have a spiritual life and they have other lives outside of the spiritual life. Of course, right? But then they separate their faith from how they show up. But you don't seem to do that. Well, I think the question here is, has there been a season where the only reason you just kept going was because you knew that there was something bigger than you in all of this? And is there anything you want to share about that season? When you were building, when you were a student, even you just graduated, right? What does it feel like when you just feel like, I don't know, at this point, I don't know what's going on, but I just have to keep showing up because there is a goal. And because many of us, when we face a lot of, when we face some obstacles, we just like, see, I'm done. I'm done here. This is where I say goodbye and I quit. So, what does that kind of season look like to you? And what would you want other people to learn from that kind of experience?
okay, thank you. I like how you make it seem like I've arrived somewhere in life. I haven't gotten anywhere in my life. In fact, I don't even think I've started out. I would say I'm just starting out, but I feel like I haven't even started out. Um, God is the center of my life because He's the one that gave me life. So it is impossible for me to have a life outside of Him. That is why I keep referring back to Him, because at the core of everything is God. There is no spiritual life, and then every other thing, there is the life that flows out of God's spirit in me. So thank God for that. Hmm. That season that you are describing is now. And I feel like it's every season where something new is happening in my life, where start to I start to feel very out of my depth. It is bigger than me. I don't think there's anything that has ever not been bigger than me. It is always going to be bigger than you. And if it's not bigger than you, there's probably something you're doing wrong. There is probably something you're doing wrong. Even in nature, we see that the way that things progress is that there is something higher, something better, something bigger to attain to. Not that it should be your primary goal, but it's just the way things progress. For example, there is no natural thinking person that sees me and will say, ah, how are you? Have you written your junior NECO? it is strange. It will be strange because you look at me and you expect that this person is either in university or has finished, like they have to be working or something, just by looking at me. And I see a child, I guess their age, and I can tell this is the stage that you should have gotten to by now, right? So there is an expectation at each stage of life that you should have reached to. And there is no way that the next expectation can be less than the previous one. There is no way. Age continues to climb. You never go back. I can never be less than, I don't want to tell people my age, but let me tell you, I'm a very old age. I can never be less than 21 years old, right? I can never go back there. So if my age is climbing, that means that all the other things that I'm getting to should also be increasing. Like the progression should be going up, not, it shouldn't be a regression, it should be a progression. So it's always going to be bigger than you, always going to be bigger than you. And as a believer in Christ, one thing that you come to realize is you can't get to the end of it until you leave this world. And so
Hmm.
you are trusting God to make it clearer to you each step that you take, because you don't know the end, only the Lord does. You don't know what the entire purpose for your life is. The Lord just shows you in
Yeah.
pieces that this is where you next to go, this is the next step that you need to take. So right now I'm in a season where I'm like, Lord, how am I going to become this person that I want to be? Um, this media founder, showing up for myself and for brands, as well as being a medical doctor who cares very passionately about her patients, who wants to revolutionize psychiatry, especially for children. How am I going to get to these places and spaces? I sincerely believe that you are the one who has led me at every point, and so you need to get me through to the very end of it. I don't see it, but I know that you do. So there is something bigger in front of me, and it feels overwhelming. Sometimes I wake up and I really don't want to. There are times that I don't want to think about what I'm saying to people. I don't want to have to film a video. I don't want to have to post. I feel like I really am out of my depth with this thing. I don't have anything that's worth hearing. There's times like that, and I remember that the goal is not perfection.
I think we should have a part two of this conversation.
Yeah, the goal is not perfection. The
There's
goal
really a
is
lot to cover,
progress.
and
As
I
long
think we
as you
should
are making
I have
progress
to
in
have
the
a
right
part two
direction.
at this point. But it's so
All
amazing to
right.
hear all that all that God has led you through, and what God is teaching you at this moment, and how you trust Him despite the results you get, or despite the feeling you have, which is very essential as children of God. We trust God, but it's not always easy in saying, by the way, like, but God has been helping us. So for
Mm-hmm.
lack of time, I think I will ask one last question. I have like four more questions, but yeah, it will allow. What part of yourself took the longest to stop apologizing for? What part of yourself took the
Wow.
longest apologizing for?
Zara, you didn't tell me that you were going to come across exam discussion. You're exposing me. Wow. Okay. Oh, wow, 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 wow. Okay. So real, raw, honest. I still find myself apologizing for the way that I am, my personality. People don't expect me to have the kind of personality I do, and are pretty shocked when I do. And so I feel like I'm failing people every time I show up and I'm not as serious as they expect me to be. I make jokes and I like using memes, and I don't take myself too seriously. I don't take the world too seriously. I'm a very thank you, Jesus, that it happened. Thank you, Jesus, that it didn't kind of person. But people expect me to be intense. And I find myself apologizing for that. But less and less these days. I mean, I'm a lot more comfortable with who I am, and I'm a lot more comfortable with the people that accept me for who I am, who know that yes, I can be this playful, unserious person, and I can also take my life seriously, and do the things that matter when they matter. So that's something that I still apologize for, but I'm learning not to. Zara, did you hear me? Hello?
But like, I think this is the last time I'll have to talk about this network. But I do not want to implicate my location, and I would assume that everything is so fine over here. I will just assume that everything is fine. I didn't say anything, but I don't know. Something should be done because I keep missing out important points. But yeah, I would always go back to check as well. Now, even though I did not get everything you said about what took you the longest for you to stop apologizing, I think I'll run through the no filter section. Oh, so for the first time in, I think everybody can still hear me, but for the first time in on the Hindu Live, we have a no filter section. So you just like run through the questions as quickly as possible. There's no need for you to like think too much. It's like a no filter. So, Dr. Angela Edhere, what's the most embarrassing thing you ever said on the mic?
Hello.
Forgive us in advance. Yeah, just forgive us in advance. But what is the most embarrassing thing you ever said on the mic?
I'm sorry. I apologized during a speech, and it was very embarrassing because I forgot my speech and I said I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
actually true. I
Yeah.
think there
You
was a
should
time
never
I also
ever, just by the way, never ever. Don't say I'm sorry in the middle of a speech, regardless of whether you forgot everything. Just keep going.
I learned that the hard way too.
I'm
And
sorry.
they asked me, so what are you sorry about?
Exactly. What are you sorry
And they asked,
about?
oh wow. Now I think in my own case too, they did not just ask me what am I sorry about. They also asked me, so is it part of your speech? And I was like, I'm so sorry.
Ah!
And I kept apologizing. But I've learned my lesson. So doctor or content creator, which one pays better?
Content creator.
Ha. And I'm training to be a medical doctor. Wow. Oh wow. So what's one opinion that you have that nobody has asked you for, but you share anyway?
Ah!
Remember, it's unapologetically Angie. So
Ah, you want to put me in trouble, no.
no.
You want to put me. My opinion, and in Kindle people, this is really unapologetically Angie. Please take it as it is, take it for what it is. My sincere opinion is that more women should actually be at home raising their children. I don't want to elaborate further. If you have questions and concerns, you can reach me privately. But that's my sincere opinion.
Well, I think I think but it's fine. I think this is directed to, no, this is a very big stray bullet that hits me from nowhere.
Hey, stop. Do you have children? Are you married?
But I asked you the question. So what's something you do that completely contradicts your brand?
Wow, this is very bad, though. You just want to expose me in this place. Wow. Okay. I don't take all my health advice. Don't tell anybody
Ha!
outside. I sleep late. I
Don't
wake up
worry,
when I
your
want
secret is
to.
safe with
I don't
us, even though
exercise.
it's being streamed on YouTube.
Somebody's going to come out and say, exposing Dr. Angela. She's not who you think she is. Don't worry, I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
But don't worry, your secret's safe with us. We won't tell anybody. So if your friends had to describe you in one word,
Like,
what would it be? Did you get the question?
yes, I did. I did. Hmm, I don't know. I would have to ask a friend. Ask me another question. Let me quickly ask a friend.
Well, that's the last question.
Wow, can you imagine? Why didn't you ask me if I had to describe myself in one word? I don't know what my friends are going to describe me as. Don't trust those people.
But so why you ask a friend, even though we're not on the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire platform? What will you describe yourself as in one word?
Faithful.
Wow. I'm a friend, you could actually ask me what is up.
Oh, yes, I should have asked you. That please describe me in one word from what you know of me.
I'll be nice. Yeah, I would say, I think all the words that are coming to my head are for myself. I would say honest.
Yeah,
I would
I
say
agree.
honest.
Passionate.
Yeah.
Passionate. Yeah,
Uh-uh.
I got my
Uh-uh.
answer.
That's good. I would say honest, and that's because you would say that this thing you're about to do is going to lead you to this place. But yes, I'm going to let you hold your path. And if you want to live with the consequences, as Zara will say, I want to bear the consequences. Thank you.
Yeah, that wraps it up. That's me. Yes, very honest to a fault.
Thank you very much, Dr. Angela. So
Thank you.
I don't want to say I really learned a lot, because the first time I went to A&E, I had a question in my spirit. What did you learn today? And I said a lot. And I immediately felt like it's not a lot. You learned something today. What did you learn? Communication is not communication until it is received.
Yeah.
There is the speaker, there's the receiver. And regardless of how you feel, whenever people are not listening to you, you still have to be respectful in putting forward your best opinion. And I think I want to add something. See, if you just want, if you think silence is the answer, silence is also an answer. You don't always have to talk. I don't know why I said so, but please apply to the situations that it fits, because it's not in every situation that you always have to say something. Silence can be an answer. And in terms of personal branding, sometimes consistency is not key. Yeah, strategy might be key. So when you combine strategy and consistency, then you get the best results. So now we'll if you have any questions for the speaker, if you have any questions at all, would like to hear your questions.